Okay, we'll do the questions
Thank you
later.
very much. Our third presenter is Dr. Omer Goktekin. His topic is when and how to perform a retrograde CTO PCI.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for invitation, Dr. Glam, Azam, and other colleague. So I'd like to talk about when we need retro and how can we do it. So let's see this case. This is flash occlusion of RCA. There is good collateral from right, left, and when we do bilateral injection, we can't see any ostium. It's flash ostium of the RCA. I think this is only option case. If we do it retrograde, we could. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to engage this antegradely. So basically, we have two techniques. Yes, antegrade, which my colleague talked about it very nicely. Thank you for great talk. And also, we do have retrograde technique. Most of the CTO case could be managed antegradely with the use of NIV guide wires. So first of all, we should aware that most of the case we can open it by antegradely. So we have to have nice antegrade technique, as mentioned earlier, like parallel wire techniques or other techniques. And we should know that complications could be very serious, may kill the patient. This is also important to know. And my good friend, Louis, will talk about it after me. Retrograde approach doesn't always bring success. And there are certain lesions which retrograde is only option which I showed you. In many cases, antegrade approach can be tried. Unless it may be too long, there could be, little calcifications. So each case, I think it's worth to try antegrade first. Because even you do retrograde approach, antegrade wiring still you may need in that case. Ostial occlusion of RCA and proximal occlusion of RCA. You may have proximal occlusion, but to cross the lesion, you definitely you need support from the guiding. If you don't have any sponsor, have any side branch for anchoring, or if the support will be very weak, so you had better start with retrograde approach. If you have ambiguous cap, sometimes only option is retrograde. Of course, we can use IOS in some cases. If we have very small distal target lesion, then we can start directly retrograde if we have a nice collateral. And sometimes we have distal bifurcation. We have a big side branch. If we try to open antegrade, we might lose side branch, as shown earlier. So if he stent that CTO, then you will lose big side branch, which we don't want. That case, I think retrograde will help a lot. And if we have very nice collateral, sometimes we can start earlier. So let's show you here how we did this case shortly. We started retrograde at the beginning. And then first wire was XT wire. It's XT wire easily reached to very proximal part, but XT couldn't penetrate the CTO itself. There was a channel up to here. And then we tried, we do tip injection through corsate, and we saw how length is it. And then we use here Miracle 12. Miracle 12 easily puncture the distal cap and proximal cap and went to the aorta, and we wired it, we snare it, and this is the final result after one stent. So let's talk about retrograde, how we do it. There are some steps we should follow. First, we have to have a good plan. Retrograde is always more complex than antegrade. We have to take care of ACT. It's important. ACT should be higher than 350 because you are dealing with the donor artery. So if you have any occlusion of donor artery, patient may collapse. We have to do collateral analysis before the operation, and then one of the important, I think, step is collateral cannulation. Sometimes it could be difficult. Sometimes it's easy, but sometimes it could be difficult, especially for epicardial or some septals, it could be difficult. So you should know that you may need to spend some time for only cannulation, okay? So you have to be very patient. Sometimes it is difficult. And then after cannulation, we have to advance our microcatheter to do collateral, and then better to do tip injection. Especially for the beginners, do tip injection to see exactly where you should go. There are different side branches. Some of them are not straight, some of them are good. So choose which one you should follow. And after tip injection, we try to wire the collateral. And then after we cross the collateral, we have to insert our microcatheter. Sometimes it is difficult. And then we should push our microcatheter at the distal part of the CTO, and then we can have our CTO wires. We can we cross collaterals with special wires, like Sion, could be Sion black sometimes, it's rarely, but Sion, if it is very tortuous and epicardial, so wire could be fine, and there are other, like Samurai, for example, can be used also. It's very good wire for retrograde collateral crossing. Anyway, and then we should cross the CTO, and then after crossing CTO with wires, we have to insert our microcatheter. That microcatheter should be in the antegrade guiding catheter. Then we have to push it. Sometimes it's difficult, there are tips and tricks for that. And then after we push our microcatheter into the antegrade guiding, we have to remove CTO wire and we have to insert RG wire, which is 330 centimeter. And then we call it externalization. After that, we do ballooning and stenting, and we finish the case. And after, we have to remove all gears, and we have to make sure all collaterals are safe. If we use left system, we have to make sure left main artery is okay, there is no dissection, anything. So it's very important. We have to have some toolkits. We should have differently retrograde wire. We should definitely have some coils or other device for if we have any perforation to seal the perforation. And we should have all kind of wires, penetration wires and other wires, and of course microcatheters. I'd like to show you one example. This is hopefully it's playing. I don't need voice here. But of course, there is some classification, maybe yes, but okay. So here you see that we have LAD occlusion, right? There is a nice diagonal. After that, we have LAD occlusion. There is a distal feeling, very nice feeling from somewhere. But I'd like to show you again. So we can do this case definitely with help of IVUS. IVUS can show us where is the proximal cap. That's for sure. But also we have very nice collateral. I'll show you that. This is live case, and you know time is important. I started directly retrograde approach, and I believe that if I do retrograde, I can open this case in a shorter time if I try first antegrade with IVUS guidance. Let's see how we approach this case. So audience like to see better the collateral. Collateral, if you please pay attention here, there is collateral from diagonal. Did you see it? There is nice diagonal from the collateral from diagonal to LAD. In here. Comes here and then goes first diagonal to diagonal, but of course we have to open LED not to diagonal, and this diagonal goes to very close to CTO. That's tricky of this case. Anyway, so let me show you how can we cross this collateral. So of course we should first protect that diagonal with another wire. We send another wire to diagonal, and then with microcatheter, in this case microcatheter was the caravel, we had first workhorse wire to engage that collateral. Okay, just it's better to have, because you need to have a special curve to go to cannulation collateral. So it's important to use first workhorse wire to engage that collateral. And after that, after engaging and after pushing micro, we will change our wire to Sion. In here, we got a Sion, and see that Sion how easily cross that lesion. It's a straightforward lesion. You know, in total 2 minutes, I'm in the distal, I'm very proximal the CTO. Now I know where is the proximal cap at least, so I can go from antegrade approach as well. But why don't we finish this retrogradely? In here, first wise wire my I like to show you from here. Yeah. Okay, first wire was Sion black wire. I thought that there could be a channel that I could cross easily, but I was wrong. There was no any channel. Then I got, after this, I got Gaia second. Gaia second, of course, is more stiff wire and very, very nice wire to me for crossing CTOs. And here I have to find the true lumen at the LED, right? So I thought it's important to do reverse card technique because the lumen in that part is not that big disease. So I did ballooning from antegrade. I sent a wire and I did ballooning here. We call it reverse card. We have basically several techniques of retrograde. This is the one we use mostly. What we did, we inflate the balloon and we have a space there, and retrograde wire then can cross easily to proximal part. Let's show you a little bit fast. And I crossed to the aorta and I had to send another guiding to do extension, because I don't want to use the same guiding. It will be difficult. It will be sometimes very complex, and I might have it twisting. It's very dangerous things. I never do it. I did it once and I had a problem. I do always ping pong technique, which is this one. We send another wire, another guiding, and then we went into this guiding. You see, I pull my wire. This is, I think, important how we do it. We pull, and we try to go now the second guiding.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
You see, I'll pull back my wire and
Hello.
try to engage the second one. And anyway, I crossed it. I crossed it, and how we do it after cross, we just, I crossed it, and then we just trap this balloon wire, and then we push our microcatheter, and then we change it, and then we did some dilatation at the other end, and after dilatation, as you see, my wire very close to proximal, the distal CTO part, so I had to wire LED. How we do it, we use double lumen catheter to do it. This is double lumen catheter. 2 lumen, and I was able to cross distal LAD with this double lumen catheter. And then, as usual, we did ballooning. We did, of course, IVUS to size, and then to see the final result, we did IVUS. We did here, we thought it's important diagonal and important to stent that one because it was diseased. We did here double kiss mini crash and some work and evaluation. And I'd like to show you the final results since I finished my time. Distally, we did some drug-eluting ballooning, and this is final result. I will show very good expansion as well. So, I think in conclusion, retrograde is, I think, important, very complementary. We should know how to. Can we have the slide, please? And it's mandatory for. Do you see it? It's mandatory for certain patients, and you know, as CT operator, we should familiar with antegrade as well as retrograde because sometimes we have to do retrograde. And also, of course, we have to well prepare for tools and complications. This is, I think, number one important. What we could happen, what we could have, and then how we treat these complications is extremely important for, of course, all procedures, but for CT as well. So thank you very much for your attention.